Our next presenter is Angela Carmella, professor of law at Seton Hall University School of Law in Newark. She teaches and writes on topics of religious land use, property law, the religion clauses, and Catholic social teachings. Today, she's addressing the enduring readability of religious meaning after the closure of a house of worship. Angela?
Thank you so much for the invitation to speak today. When houses of worship are in active use, they carry aesthetic and theological meaning. Here's my thesis. When these buildings close, the sacred meaning is not stripped away. They aren't suddenly reduced to a price per square foot for sale to the highest bidder. Instead, they retain the accretions of religious significance acquired over time. They remain part of the religious and cultural heritage. This means that how buildings are used continues to matter. We should not depend exclusively on government preservation or real estate developers to make these determinations. Churches should play a leading role. Of course, churches avoid turning the property to what Catholic canon law calls sordid uses, like a sale to a sweatshop factory. But even well beyond avoiding these terrible uses, and prayerfully consider how to redeploy resources in ways most compatible with faith and with social responsibility. This process of discernment should invite the assistance of heritage professionals, together with worshipers and the wider community having an interest in the building. In this discernment, my hope is that churches would identify social, cultural, recreational, or hospitality needs in their communities, choosing, for instance, religious uses over secular, public over private, non-market over market, wherever possible. Reusing a closed church as a house of worship for another group, or a non-worship house religious use like house of prayer, meditation, preferring charitable and cultural goals like museums, conference halls, bookshops, libraries, archives, art centers, workshops, environmental centers, or social aims like meeting places, charity centers, healthcare clinics, food banks, affordable housing, and immigrant hospitality centers. Perhaps too as private dwellings and shared office space, allowing mixed uses, but avoiding for-profit commercial uses. A church might impose a restrictive covenant as part of the sale, which would bind future owners. Catholic leaders sometimes do this in the context of a sale of a hospital to prohibit future uses for abortion and sterilization, long after the ownership has ended. So it's a familiar tool. Yet we know the immense financial pressures at stake. The market is so often the driver of the next use of that building or site. So we see houses of worship often turned into luxury condominiums or luxury offices instead of affordable housing. In fact, my article for this conference tracks the life cycle of a church in Boston, first downsized for smaller worship and multiple uses, and ultimately sold for luxury housing. I'd like to note that in addition to severe losses in church attendance, the need to compensate victims of clergy use has become a significant driver of closings and market sales of church buildings. Selling the buildings to the highest bidder in some cases might actually be the prudential response to providing the victim compensation that justice demands. That's very sad to me. Churches failed to steward errant clergy and now fail to steward their religious heritage in order to make amends. All the more necessary for churches to enter into the process of discernment to see how it might be possible to fulfill their faith commitment and social responsibility, buildings adaptive reuse. Thank you.